Alright, welcome everybody to the PCDC Motorsports ACC GT4 League. Your directing and commentary will be by myself and a stuff mail. And let's get right into it. It's first round today, and we are at Imola, also better known as Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. We're obviously in Imola and in Italy. The track features 17 turns, is 4.909 kilometers long or 3.050 miles long. So with our GT4 league, actually the first time we are hosting a GT4 league here at PCDC, we have a slightly different race format for our GT4 class. So let's take a look at that. The race format for today is a 110-minute warm-up, which is coming to a close, so our drivers had a lot of a warm-up time here today. And then we will have a 10-minute qualifying after the warm-up ends here. Currently the drivers are in the driver's briefing, listening to what the coordinators have to say. And then they'll head into that first qualifying session, which will last 10 minutes. Then we will have race 1, which is 25 minutes long. After that race, we will have another qualifying session of 10 minutes long, which means obviously as drivers, you know, get a bit more into the groove, maybe didn't have too much time to practice, or not too much experience with the track yet, they can have a second chance at improving their qualifying in qualifying 2, and we might see a bit of a shuffle here and there. On the grid. So yeah, after that second qualifying, we'll have another 25-minute race. After this, the points will be averaged out over the 2 sessions, and then the drivers will get their points according to that. Before we get the first qualifying of our GT4 season going, let's also take a look at the calendar. So for the calendar, obviously today, we are at Imola, in Italy. We will also be heading to Misano, the 30th of January. So, we're staying in Italy. That's what I should. That's what I was trying to say. But we'll have a GT3 league also running, which will run bi-weekly with this league. And I think we have a couple of little breaks in between where our PCDC teams are competing in an endurance championship somewhere else. So yeah, second race in Misano, also Italy. Then we'll be heading to the USA for Laguna Seca. Then after that, we're going to Zandvoort to the Netherlands. Then we're going to the Nürburgring in Germany, and then to round off the season, 6th round will be at the Hungaroring. Right, with that being said, let's take a look here. We can, you know, show a couple of the cars on track. I think we were having a couple of server issues earlier on here, but those should hopefully be resolved, and I think it's just a case of trying to get all the drivers in the server, just making sure everyone is set up and ready to go. So currently I think today we have 23 or 24 drivers, so we're looking at a nice grid here, especially for a 25-minute race. It's going to be, you know, short to the point, a lot of action probably, and a not too much time to make up mistakes, and it's gonna be better that our drivers don't make any mistakes today. And also a lot of probably attacking, because there's only 25 minutes, so if you want to get your moves done, you got to get them done quickly or you'll be left behind probably. Being said, let's see here if we can quickly press drive. There we go. And let's see who was out of the pits first. A long train heading out of the pits here. So yeah, a lot of drivers out on the track. Let's see here. Lee Taylor, our drivers that's already a bit further along the track. And yeah, Imola, tricky track. Sector 1 there has those sausage curbs. Don't want to make a mistake and run over those, because those are going to give your car a bad time, although the GT4s are very capable of taking those curbs pretty roughly. So suspension definitely a lot softer than your GT3 suspensions and sorts, so they won't have too many issues taking any curbs. Some of the cars, maybe perhaps like Lee Taylor here in the Audi, mid-engined, might have to be careful for the balance of the car, not to hit them too hard, but overall it shouldn't be a problem for these GT4 cars. Yeah, just heading out on this lap here, you see this trains forming everywhere. Everyone will have to make sure they create a little bit of space here. Only 10 minutes to get their lap in, so not too much time. You realistically only have, you know, your out lap, maybe 2 good laps, and if you're fast, you can maybe do another out lap and another hot lap. But you know, you really want to make it count. So I think we'll see a lot of drivers just stay on the same tires for the laps they're out on track here, and won't elect to go back into the pit unless they make a big mistake, of course. Hey, Lucien, how are you doing? I'm going to take a look at the GT4s today. Yeah, let's see here. Lee Taylor on his lap. That first sector, tricky with the high sausage curves, but again, the GT4 car is pretty adept at handling those. Imola, very much a one-line track, I think. Can't deviate too much from any lines. It's a bit like a street circuit, I feel like, in the terms of where the racing line goes and creativity with overtakes. Obviously, the GT4s don't really have too much aero on them, so on the straights they won't have massive advantages one over the other. We might see. We have one brave soul here today, I think. Jordan One-Sink. Right here, let's get him onto to the screen here. He's, I think, the only driver in the KTM for this season. At least so far. Should maybe someone else sign up with a KTM, but we know the KTM is a bit down on engine power, but to bring that in balance, the KTM is really fast in the corners, so it lacks a bit in acceleration and top speed, but it can make all its time up in the corners. Also see here, you gotta cycle through real quick. There we go. He's gonna get onto his hot lap here. Then we will take a look here. Lee Taylor getting that time in. Oh, actually, Thomas Arnsman in the Porsche GT4 Cayman has just put in a 150.69. And Marcus Lawrence in the McLaren there, 3/10 behind. So Arnsman coming out strong here for his first lap. And we'll see if anyone can improve on that as we go on. So far so good, but let's actually stay on board here for a while with Marcus Lawrence, because he is looking at a half a second improvement as of now. So coming up onto the chicane there. Let's hope he didn't invalidate his lap by running wide there. But yeah, you can really, in those GT4s, you can really clobber that curb in the chicane. Coming down to the last 2 corners here, gotta make sure to not run too wide, because there's a lot of runoff in those last 2 corners. But you know, with a lot of extra margin, you're tempted to, you know, try to take a bit more. But Marcus Lawrence will take There we go. For now, at least, we'll take pole position with a 1 minute 50.4. So really nice time there. Wonder if anyone today has the pace here to dip under the 1 minute 50s. See here at some other drivers that are improving. Ruben van den Hudding here in the BMW. Must say I really like the BMW GT4. That's a nice look to it. I think complements the BMW, not having too much aero on it. Looking at a 3/10 improvement, and that will put him about 9/10 away from Marcus Lawrence. Take a look a bit further back at some drivers. Haven't gotten their times in properly yet, but you can see there it is tough for a lot of drivers to get a clean lap in. You know, it's a short amount of time you have here for qualifying, so it is really a bit of a toss-up. And I mean, this format is meant to be a bit more, you know, it's meant to be more like a true sprint race, and made to be a bit more unpredictable. But yeah, Andrew Harvey here. Looking at it, also one of the cars, yeah, one of the only Camaros actually the only Camaro today as well. So yeah, a lot of Porsches today. Porsche seems pretty popular. I think it's overall, I've tried out the Porsche before, and it seems to be like a really well-balanced car in the GT4 class. It drives nothing like its GT3 counterpart, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's overall just a good platform to be on. A couple of BMWs, 2 Ginettas, so not too much of them, 2 McLarens. Only 1 Mercedes, which is actually surprising. I thought a lot more people would go for the Mercedes, but I guess not. Meanwhile, Andrew Harvey still in 16th. See here, Brian Pettit. Looking at an improvement. Nope. Not at the moment. So anyone that comes across the line now will obviously be starting their last qualifying lap for race 1. Let's look here at a couple more people that might be improving. Mats Leenum Anderson, looking at a very nice improvement here, 7/10 up. Let's see where that puts him. Comes across the line up into 8th position for Leenum Anderson, so very nice there. We'll have 1 more lap here, and possibly still improve more. Joshua Layson here in the middle sector, currently 1/10 up. Rocking a, oh man, it's a bit too far to see, but something Devils on his car. A very, well, either it's a Welsh livery or a very Christmas-like livery. I think the intention is there to make it look like a Welsh livery, not per se a Christmas one, but colors do reminisce a bit of Christmas. So no improvement there for Josh as he came up to some other qualifiers there. Masic Hila comes across the line there with the Alpine, half a second behind Lawrence there. So again, we might see, with this GT4 class, we haven't tried this out yet, but you know, we might see a couple of people here doing a bit better than they otherwise would, because obviously GT4, lower downforce, more mechanical grip, you know, slower overall. Just a different way of driving. I think in general I see it more as like an active style of driving. You know, you're correcting a lot more mid-corner. And yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. It's also, I think at least, a bit harder to pull away from people, because you don't really have significant differences in the car in terms of straight line speed or for corner speed, unless it is the extremes, like for instance the KTM in GT4, you know, very good in the corners, but or in the straight line. That is one exception, but overall, you know, very well balanced class. Let's see here if anyone else is improving. Not so far. Vincent Erber here, not electing not to go out for a lap here, so maybe didn't get his time into practice and just wants to start from the back here. But yeah, we can just take a look here at Hila as he is coming across along the last corner here. 1/10 down, 2/10 down. Yeah, no, that won't be an improvement, but I'm sure he's just looking to get his laps in. And that'll be it. So Hila comes across the line, the session has ended, and so we have pole position for Marcus Lawrence for race 1. Then in second we have Arnsman, and then Layson. Now we will take a very short break here, and we will come back at you with a full grid rundown, and then we'll get ready for race 1. Let's see here, the server should be cycling, so hopefully we can get that going soon. But anyway, I will see you guys in 2 to 5 minutes. I don't know particularly how long the break is going to be, but I will put a timer up once I know more. See you in a bit. All right, welcome back everybody in the ACC or the PCDC ACC GT4 League. A lot of letters there repeating over and over. It's difficult for me. But yes, I am back here. Send a stuff mail still, doing the commentary for you, and we're now gonna be looking over the entire grid for you. So a short little qualifying session, 10 minutes. That did see Marcus Lawrence here in the McLaren come out on top. In second, we have Thomas Arensman in the Porsche GT4. Then we have Joshua Layson, also in a Porsche GT4. Right behind them, Masu Chila in the Alpine. Then we have Lee Taylor with a nice qualifying as well there in fifth in the Audi. And we have Ruben van der Hedding right behind him in the BMW. Ryan Daniels also in a Porsche in seventh there. Christian Venter in eighth, with I believe his teammate right behind them, both in the Genetis, sporting very nice liveries in my opinion, looking very clean there. Then we have Mats Linum Andersen qualified just inside the top 10 here in the Porsche. Then we have Ivan Gomez in the McLaren. Then Justin Dijkstra in the Porsche in 12th. Then Jordan Wansink in the KTM, looking at a bit of a poor qualifying session there. Maybe didn't get enough practice, or maybe just struggling with the car on the circuit could also be the case. Then Peter Parnell in the McLaren in 14th. Max van Laar in 15th. 16th, Nelson Rowley in 17th. Daryl Hill. Then we have Brian Pettit. Then we have Eddie Phillips in 19th, Mark de Boer in 20th, Andrew Harvey in 21st. 22nd we have Miguel Fonseca, and then we have Martin de Knecht in 23rd, with an absolutely disgusting livery that I made myself. So will not be featuring that, because every time I see it I puke in my own mouth a little bit. But that aside, we have Vincent Erbrich here as well. And he is in 24th, so chose not to qualify. Obviously our championship winner from last season. And he'll be doing a last to first challenge of sorts, I guess. But the field nice and bunched up here. And we will be running to the line here side by side, waiting until that green flag goes. Quite a run here till the start finish line. Get ready here. Wait for the starting sign.
Green light, go, go, go.
And green light for round 1 of the PCDC ACC GT4 League. As we're heading in single file into turn 1. Let's get the helicam on that. Looking good so far. I see some Genetas of Deploy and Venter going around the outside. Looking good there for Marcus Lawrence as he gets a nice break. The rest of the field looking to make it through pretty cleanly so far, so that's really good to see there. We have a nice full field, 24 cars as the standing is sorting itself out, but looking very clean here in those first couple of turns. A couple of people having to take a bit of avoiding action over some curves and over some gravel, as Rowley there, I jinxed it, is gonna take out a car there. Oh, there's more happening in the background. I think that's Vincent Erbrich there. In of a bit of a collision. I think most of the field made it through cleanly, but a couple of cars pretty hurt there. And they'll surely be struggling now for the rest of the race. But again, there's 2 races here today, so hopefully they can make up a bit of time. And not all is lost, obviously, because the field really bunched up here. We go back to the front, we see that long train in the background there, so most of the field making it through very cleanly, and that is what we like to see. But Marcus Lawrence initially pulled away there, but now does have Arensman and Layson there right behind him. And they actually close up really well there through that last sector, so really well done there for Arnsman as he's right on the back of Lawrence there. Coming down the straightaway, let's see here if the Porsche actually has the legs. Doesn't seem like it. Well, nothing will happen here, but Arnsman is really looking to set up that move, I think. They get into turn 1 there. Ooh, Lawrence a bit wide there. This will allow Arnsman surely to have a way better run as they'll go side by side. Coming into turn 3 here. Let's see. Oh, surely one of them has to concede, and that will be Arnsman for now, but that does allow Layson to close up and has the inside line for the hairpin. Let's see what happens here as they come out of that hairpin. It does seem like Arnsman is going to pull slightly ahead there, but man, in these 25-minute races, we already... Ooh, Layson there. Almost getting it wrong in the braking on the grass. Looking very good, but a single mistake here can cost you a lot of positions because you can just see that stream of cars behind them there. And Marcus Lawrence looking good so far, but has Arnsman there right behind him. And we have that, look at that long train here. We have those first initial 6 cars, then another 5 cars. Ryan Daniels there with Mats Liedem Anderson right behind him. And then the KTM of Jordan Wansink. Jordan Wansink already made up about 3 or so positions. Might have been from that initial crash. Yeah, Daniels for now doing a pretty good job, and as we look in front of him there, we have Venter and Christian Duploy. In front of them, those 2 teammates looking to be very challenging, or are challenging each other a lot, I think, but obviously they will be, I assume, communicating with each other, so I don't think we'll see them fighting too much. You do see here Lee Taylor might have gotten a bit of a bad run there out of that first section of turns, and has Van den Hudding and Gila right behind him. Oh, coming into the hairpin here. Let's see what he can do. Coming out of the hairpin there, we see the 3 leaders there, or the leader and the 2 chases there right behind. So we do see now 5 minutes in, there's quite some packs developing now, so a lot of cars that are in bunches of 3 or 4 juking it out. We see here Andrew Harvey. I thought he was closer to someone, but it doesn't seem like it. But further back here, Miguel Fonseca runs a bit wide. That's going to allow Justin Dijkstra to come through. And Justin Dijkstra was involved there with that spinning car at the start. So has picked up a bit of damage, but is trying to make his way back through the field. As we take a look now, Ryan Daniels still has Jordan Wansink there right behind him, but Jordan Wansink must be struggling with top speed here today. You see, take a look here on the straight now. On board with the KTM, just how much time this car loses on the straight. You see that Porsche just pulling away in a straight line, so one of the very big downsides here of the KTM. But I'm sure we'll see him pull back all this time here through this first section of corners. Just see the KTM carries a lot more speed through the corners than the other traditional GT4s. So yeah, that's a struggle which with Wansink is coping pretty well there. At the front there, nothing unchanged. Lawrence Arnsman and Layson still running quite close together, all within about half a second of each other. But Marcus doing a good job so far of holding on there. And we will see throughout this short sprint race here if anyone actually starts to have maybe some tire degradation issues. You know, the track is 36 degrees at the moment, so it is a pretty hot track, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some overheating tires for some of these guys with the amount of racing they're doing here. So I think a bit of a compromised run here for Thomas Arensman, and we'll now see Joshua Layson right on the back here. See if Layson tries anything, or if Arensman is going defensive. Doesn't look like it. Ooh, very close for Layson there. Had to straighten his car out a bit there to avoid bumping into Arensman. But it didn't look like Layson was trying for the overtake, as they surely want to work together a little bit to try and actually keep up with Lawrence there. But Ryan Daniels now, you could see, did have Wansink right behind him there, but Wansink just defenseless on the straights, which is pretty tough to see here. As you see there, Peter Parnell just making that overtake on the straight pretty easily as he comes into Sector 1 here. But you do see that KTM, then, you know, not literally, but, you know, stretching its legs then in the corners. But again, a hard track to overtake here. And Ryan Daniels there actually up into 9th, I believe, passing Christian Venter. But let's keep the eyes here on Peter Parnell and Jordan Wansink here, because they're developing a little bit of a trade here. More people catching up, and I think it's due to the KTM's lack of top speed, I should say. And it's going to be this endless war for Wansink, since even if he overtakes these guys in the corner on the straight, they will just gain so much time that he has to realistically build up, I think, almost a second over them just to be able to cope on the straights. But Peter Parnell here doing the best he can to try and fend off Jordan Wansink, but all he needs to do is stay ahead until the straightaway, which he is doing, and you can slowly see him starting to build that gap now. Yeah, and closing up as well on Venter and Daniels here in front. As we get to the straightaway, we'll see again here. I think I can show you here. We get on the straightaway, you just see that KTM dropping back behind Peter Parnell here, who has worked his way up to 11. So very good job from him. Let's see if anything else is necessarily happening. Does look like it. Christian Venter here in the Ginetta, also one of the cars that is, I think, a bit poor on the straightaways, but and you can see there the KTM of Wansink there closing up in the corners. And this is actually a very close fight here, but we do have another fight happening here between the Knecht and Rowley. So the Knecht trying to fend off Rowley here, as he must have gotten a pretty poor run into turn 1 and will concede to Rowley there in the BMW. Running this cursed livery full of old sponsors like Pepsi and what else is on there? MTV. Man, remember the days of MTV. And yeah, some other good ones on there. Nintendo. I must say the livery is not as horrible as when I was making it, but it's still pretty horrible. So let's move on from that one. Again, Peter Parnell here, just slightly edging ahead from Wansink, as Wansink is just not able to get close enough onto before the straightaway here. You can just see how much more speed Wansink has through the corners, but on the straight he just loses everything. You have a couple of interesting fights going on here. One between Mats Lidum Andersen and Christian Duploy. Again, the Ginetta's done very well on qualifying pace, but Must be said, it does seem like on race pace they are dropping back, and it might be that disadvantage on the top speed as well for the Gianettas. But so far so good for Matt Anderson. I think making his debut last season in the GT3s on in the PCDC league, and actually progressing pretty well here, as had a bit of setbacks as further back. Let's take another look at this. Still that fight going on between Peter Parnell and Jordan Wansink. So maybe Wansink getting a bit more into the groove now. 12 minutes to go. Really pushing it there for Wansink. You see him going sideways through that left-hander. Big braking zone here. As you heard there over the radio, we're halfway through this 25-minute race, but a lot of action, which has been really nice to see. Getting back to Mats Anderson here. So far, so good for all of these drivers. But yeah, Peter Parnell just doing just enough, and I think what Wansink realistically needs here... Oh, a bit of a mistake for Parnell, as he might be starting to struggle a little bit on those rear tires. Wansink now right in the slipstream, but even then, so hard for the KTM to do anything. But surely Wansink will get a chance here soon enough. What I was gonna say is, oh, Lee Taylor here, with Masachila right behind him, fighting over 5th position. Heading into the hairpin here. All of these times really close together here. Everyone around the 51, low 51s, mid 51s. Except for the top 4, they're doing mid to high 50s. But yeah, Lee Taylor so far doing very well here in the Audi, up in 5th position. Bit wide there. Masic getting a bit of a better run through that left-hander there. And into the braking again, I think. Ooh, a bit of a slap of oversteer for Masachila there, as he nearly loses it there. Very tricky braking zone there. Downhill, into some camber, and yeah, it really unsettles the car there. You really have to manage your braking there, but I'm sure we'll see him try at least once more. But Wansink here getting very antsy behind Peter Parnell, just trying to make up that time, as he now gets a very good run through the chicane, but again just struggling on top speed. We'll see if we can go on board here with Jordan Wansink. Maybe see a lap here on board with him, but again just pressuring Peter Parnell here. You can see he's right behind him, got a slightly better run out of the corner, but then you can see on the straightaway here just how much that that McLaren pulls away from the KTM. Oh, then into the braking. Here's where you'll see the KTM really catch up. Better line as well from Jordan Wansink through there. Right on the back of Peter Parnell again. And so the story goes on and on. What Wansink is really hoping for here is that Parnell makes a slight mistake on which he can capitalize. But Parnell so far doing a really good job here. Wansink again. Better run out of the corner, but the McLaren on top speed will come out on top. Wansink really just looking for a mistake here. And I'm sure once he gets past Parnell, he'll start pulling away, but it's just so hard with the KTM. We'll stay on board here for the remaining of the lap, as they're actually pulling up closer to Christian Venter there, who is dropping back on race pace. Again, looking really good through the corners here, one sync. And a really nice run through there, just on the back of Parnell there as they're catching up to Christian Venter. So Peter Parnell now trying to challenge Venter there. Venter has to take a compromising line. This is what Jordan Wansink must have been waiting for. But can't quite get through there. This is what I'm talking about. Very much a one-line track here at Imola. Once the guy in front of you slows down in the corner, there's no way for you to go. You really have to just stick behind him. But Peter Parnell now possibly compromising himself a little bit here, coming up to Christian Venter. He'll have to make this overtake really quickly, or else I'm sure Jordan Wansink will try to capitalize on it. 7 minutes to go here. So realistically, 3.5 more laps here. They're coming up to this big braking zone again. Parnell again compromising his line a little bit here as they'll head up to the chicane. Oh, runs wide there. And now surely this is what Jordan Wansink has been waiting for. But again, the KTM just doesn't have the legs there to do anything. And I would love to show you guys another battle, but this is definitely the closest battle on the track, so I wanna stay on this one. Again, Parnell just drawing away on the straight there. Another battle that might be developing here is Ruben van den Hudding in the BMW here, catching up to Layson. Van den Hudding about a 10th faster last lap around. Very slowly but surely catching up here to Layson. Speed-wise, top speed-wise, I don't know how these cars compare, but I'd have a nice battle on our hands here soon. As Van den Hudding closing right up to Layson there in the chicane. I'll be heading into that those last 2 corners. But Van den Hudding definitely very close here, and I'm sure he'll be trying to make a move here soon. Layson just had better there through those last 2 corners, but it does seem like the BMW has that edge on the straight line speed. So let's see here if Van den Hudding tries something, as he'll try to force it side by side. Let's see, into the braking. Layson doing a good job there, but does have to concede there. So 3rd position now for Ruben van den Hudding. Very nicely done. And that'll see Layson dropping just outside of the podium position there. Van den Hudding really getting a move on here in the late stages with the BMW. But let's see if Layson can still challenge him here, and if anywhere, it probably has to be in this middle sector here, which is very tough to do. And tough braking zone here. Layson trying to keep his car together. Just runs a tiny bit wide there on the curb, which will compromise his exit. And Van den Hudding doing a good job staying in front now. Let's see now if it was actually slipstream for Van den Hudding or just top speed on the BMW once we get to the straight here. But it does seem that Van den Hudding is just inching away. So let's see here. Both of them getting a pretty good run out of the last corner. And let's see here. Yeah, I do believe it's the BMW just having a bit more straight line speed here than the Porsche. Laysan can just about keep up. So yeah, BMW doing very well. Meanwhile, at the front, Marcus Lawrence having a very clean race. Managed to pull about 3 seconds to Arnsman behind. And I think the only person that we have seen... Unfortunately, Vincent Ehrlich was involved in that first accident there. I don't think he caused it, but unfortunately was involved in it. So a couple of laps behind, repaired some damage, and is now, I am guessing, trying to get into a rhythm to hammer in that second qualifying and then bring it home. So yeah, unfortunate for him. Bit of a look further back here. Andrew Harvey and Martin de Knecht also in a bit of a battle. Heading into Sector 1 here. This will probably be... probably won't be their last lap. I think there will be one more lap after this because Marcus Lawrence is quite a bit ahead. So, see here, Andrew Harvey really under fire here. Has a lot of damage as well. Ooh, Harvey runs a bit wide there, and that will allow Martin de Knecht to capitalize here in the last stages of the race. So that puts de Knecht up into 19th and Harvey up into 20th. So just inside the top 20 there for de Knecht. Oh, and Peter Parnell here as well, side by side with Jordan Wansink. Very close together, so must have made a little bit of a mistake here, which caused... Oh, Wansink. Oh, Parnell gets it all wrong there, and Wansink does as well, but still manages to pull out ahead of Peter Parnell. So both cars getting it wrong, but now we will see here. Look at that McLaren, just straight line speed. The KTM has nothing, and that is so disappointing to see in this battle. Just did that difference in straight line speed. But both of them will have dirty tires. Went into this last sector here, or first sector, I'm sorry. Very exciting racing here today. And they're scrapping over that 11th position like they're scrapping over a win. Wansink, oh, trying around the outside here. Compromised Parnell in his run there. Side by side, but again, that McLaren just with the top speed. And Wansink just trying his hardest to get around Parnell, but man, is it a struggle seeing him going around. Again, closing up really well here, just trying to pressure Parnell into a mistake, which he does make. But will it be enough for Wansink to try anything here? Parnell still pulls ahead here as they head into the chicane, and I think Parnell just parks it there as Marcus Lawrence has come across the line. Then Arnsman second, Arun van den Hudding and Laysan very close together there for third. Deploy seventh there with Liam Anderson there running him to the line, but oh man, less than a tenth between those guys. And then Peter Parnell and Wansink, which has been a race-long struggle here for Wansink, but it'll see Parnell coming out in 11th, Wansink in 12th, and 13th we have Van Laar, then Justin Dijkstra, Mike de Boer in 15th, Ivan Gomez, 16th. Eddie Phillips, 17th. Daryl Hill, 18th. Andrew Harvey there in 19th, but has Martin de Knecht right behind him there, but I don't think Audi will be able to beat him on the straight line speed. So 19th for Andrew Harvey, 20th for Martin de Knecht, then Brian Pettit. Not having the best of times in 21st. Miguel Fonseca in 22nd. Rowley in 23rd to round off our first race here. So very well done from our drivers here as Rowley comes across the line. And yeah, just very close racing, a lot of battling going on, so really nice to see. That's what we wanted from this format of racing. And that the session has ended. I think there will again be a short break for everyone to quickly, you know, get maybe a small beverage or a little toilet break, and then we will be heading into the second qualifying and then the second race. So yeah, really exciting stuff here and good to see. So yeah, with that being said, we will be taking a short break, and then we'll head straight into qualifying 2, and then following to that we'll have a race 2. But yeah, so far this format is working out really nicely here with these 24 cars going around. Our drivers doing a very good job there. Minimal incidents, even though it's a very short sprint format. And well, a lot of ground to make up for some drivers in the second race, but I'm sure they'll give us a good show. So yeah, that being said, we'll take a short break here, and then we will be back with you for qualifying 2 and race 2. See you in a bit. Alright, welcome back to the PCDC ACC GT4 League. We are here for second qualifying. You can see already a lot of time that has passed. But our driver's still on their first lap now. We'll take a look here at Marcus Lawrence to see if he can repeat that qualifying performance from the first race. Yeah, it does seem that the I was looking at the McLaren, and that car does seem to be quite strong on top speed. Yeah, let's see here. Comes across or around the last few bends here, and let's see what kind of time he is gonna put down as the benchmark for people to beat. So comes across a line here. Ooh, 50.3. So I believe that would be around a tenth faster from his previous qualifying session. See, as other drivers come in, Arnsman again about 3/10 behind. A really good job there. See here, let's take a look at Jordan Wansink. Yeah, that KTM really not having a good time here. But must have invalidated his lap. Look at the other drivers here. Vincent Erbrich, 9/10 behind Marcus Lawrence with a 51.3 in the Porsche. Joshua Layson here didn't manage to get a time in yet. In the meanwhile, we do see people like Van den Hudding now in third. So as we saw now, I think initially Van den Hudding didn't qualify well in the first race. But now that he's gotten up to race speed, I should say, he's improving his times. But obviously, a lot of time still to come in with 4 minutes to go. Let's just keep following Layson around here to see what he's capable of in his Welsh-colored Porsche. He works his way through the chicane. They're looking pretty good. And, might be looking at a very respectable time here. Actually, Marcus Lawrence here is gonna come across the line, and he is gonna break into the 49s. See here as he comes across the line. Oh, he must have invalidated his lap. That's so unfortunate. You see now here Peter Parnell also in 6th, so very good job from him there. 2.5 seconds, but a lot of people struggling to get their laps in here on qualifying. As did, I want to say, Joshua Layson. Oh, I totally missed him right up there, Joshua Layson, 2nd place. So very well done from him here. Put himself 3/10 away from the leader. Yeah, we have someone else improving here. Not at the moment. Daryl Hill might be someone that's looking to improve. About 3 seconds behind right now. So yeah, he'll surely be looking to improve here as Martin gets out of the way from him there to give him a clean run. But yeah, looking about a half-second improvement right now for Daryl Hill. A tiny bit in front of him there is Justin Dijkstra. Currently about 1.1 second off in his Martini Porsche there. Lost a bit of time there in that fast right-hander. Downhill braking zone. Heading up to the chicane, half a second up. Let's see if he can gain anything here. Quite tidy over there, even though the rear broke loose a little bit. But yeah, with half a second, that's going to put him up into 4th position. See in this last sector if he can gain anything. Looking pretty tidy again. Run right to the edge of the gravel there. Bit wide. through there, that corner. But yeah, it's gonna improve by about 6/10, and that's gonna put him up into 4th place surely. He comes across the line here. Let's see. Yeah, it's very well done from Dijkstra. So Vincent Erbrich currently looking at a 7/10 improvement. Almost 8/10 there as he comes around the last few corners. Ooh, this might put him up into 2nd place. Let's see here, it's gonna be close. Van den Hudding with 2/100ths off of Lawrence's time, and Erbrich also within 1/10 of Marcus Lawrence, so surely that's gonna be a big fight here for the lead. But yeah, as Erbrich now gets on his last lap here, let's see, it's some other improvements. Masichila, so looking at about 4/10 improvement. Really well here through the middle sector. Definitely gained a lot of time here. As he comes through the chicane, let's see, can he gain anything here? Not really. And then we go to those last 2 corners, very crucial. Getting a good run through there because you can lose a lot through there. About 4/10 up. Coming out of that last corner with a decent run, 4/10 up. That is not gonna improve him here. Let's see as he comes across the line. As the qualifying time has come to an end, so anyone on a lap can still finish it. But yeah, time improvement wise, very good for Hila, but no positions gained. And we will see else coming across the line here. Christian Deploy will move up into 10th. One more driver here, Peter Parnell, with a big improvement here, almost a 2nd improvement for him. See where he moves up to as he comes across the line. That is gonna put him up into 12th in front of Venter and Wansink once again. Wansink really struggling here today. More car out on track here, I think, looking to improve its time. Oh, and actually, I have missed something, but Vincent Erbrich here at the death. Again, like he usually does it with his last lap. Just gets that little bit more out of the car and manages to put himself on pole position here today for race 2. So obviously, last place in the first race. He didn't qualify there, but now that he does qualify, he's here to play, definitely. But yeah, Andrew Harvey, one of the last cars looking to improve his car. His time. Sorry, 7/10 up, so that might see him move up 1 position up into 20th. There we go. 0.8 seconds behind the leader. So again, very interesting qualifying session there, with notably Ruben van Hudding qualifying in 3rd, where he ended last time around, and then Layson in 4th. But most importantly, Vincent Erbrich in 1st and Marcus Lawrence in 2nd. So that's going to be a good fight at the front there. Maybe a 2, 3, maybe even 4-way fight there for the lead. And again, we'll take a very short break in between the qualifying and the race here. So make sure to stay with us, and we'll be back in about 5 or so minutes. So we'll see you then. Alright, welcome back everybody for the PCDC ACC GT4 League. We're on to race 2 now. Our drivers have just completed race 1, and we'll give you again a full grid rundown before we get racing here. So, in first place, Vincent Erbrich didn't qualify for the first race, now did, and ends up in first place. Marcus Lawrence right behind him, and we have Ruben van den Hudding in the BMW. Joshua Layson in 4th, Thomas Arnsman right behind him, so a bit of a shuffle up there in the top 5. Then we have Lee Taylor there in 6th, Justin Dijkstra in 7th, Mase Chiela in 8th, Ryan Daniels in 9th, Christian Deploy in 10th, Nelson Rowley in 11th in the BMW, Peter Parnell around the same position where he ended, I believe, in 12th. Then we have Christian Venter in 13th, and then right behind him, Jordan Wansink, who is really struggling here. Mark de Boer in 15th, Daryl Hill in 16th, Max van Laar in 17th, Ivan Gomez in 18th, Eddie Phillips in 19th, Andrew Harvey in 20th. Unfortunately, I see that Mats Linum Andersen has dropped out. I think he lost connection to the server, and unfortunately, I believe drivers can't rejoin once the racing sessions are going, so that's a bit of a shame. And then we will have, let's see here, Martijn de Knecht in 21st and Big Ol Fonseca in 22nd. So it does seem like we've dropped 2 drivers. One being Mats Linum Andersen, the other one being Brian Pettit. So that is really unfortunate to see, but I was looking at another Discord and it does seem there's some issues going on with the Assetto Corsa servers at the moment, so just a bit of a shame here. Again, our drivers bunching up here just before the line. You can see a bit of last minute swerving there, trying to heat up the tires somewhat, which I doubt they will need with a track that's as toasty as this one. And now all we do is wait for the green flag. Oh, as we run up to the line here. And here we go, green light for race 2 on Imola. As we head into turn 1, let's take the helicopter cam again. Marcus Lawrence edging slightly ahead with that top speed, but Erbrich doing a good job pulling alongside, but Marcus Lawrence really aggressive there, loses a bit out on the run there. And Erbrich taking position there, and Layson will actually shuffle through. As we see behind there, again, a lot of shuffling going on, but Erbrich takes the lead here, and Layson in 2nd as Marcus Lawrence, the big loser of that tiny little battle they had there, and is now under fire from Ruben van den Hudding as well. And as the field is so close up together, Marcus Lawrence might lose out here, but looking good so far. A bit further back here, Nelson Rowley, we have a bit of 2 wide action there. Justin Dijkstra together with Christian Deploy. Justin Dijkstra gets the better of him. Bit of a shaky start from Deploy there. Also under fire now from Ryan Daniels. A lot going on here. Oops, trying a move there. Again, very much a one-line track, so moves are hard to pull off here. But Vincent Erbrich initially a bit shaky here. Joshua Layson still right on the back of him. And as you can see with GT4s, it's not that easy to pull away from someone. So let's see here if Joshua Layson can actually try an overtaking move here on the straight, maybe with some slipstream. Bit shaky there out of the last corner. Let's take a look on board here with Joshua Layson if we can. Obviously the same car, so the only thing you'll have here is a little bit of slipstream, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be enough to challenge Vincent Erbrich here. look a bit further back. A lot of stuff going on right now, so I can't really keep on top, but just on deploy there with Ryan Daniels. Seems like someone has gone across the gravel a little bit. That was Justin Dijkstra, so actually loses out a little bit again. And we do see Lee Taylor and Ruben van der Hudding going side by side into that middle sector. Very nice move there by Lee Taylor, and now Masachila looking optimistic, trying up the inside of Ruben van der Hudding. Around that corner there, a bit of a bad camera angle on that one. Unfortunately, we can't do much about that. But still side by side with Justin Dijkstra. Alpin doing just fine here on the straight, it seems. Ooh, a big touch there. With the... oh, man. That was really close there. See if we can get a quick replay of that one. The screen will hang up for a little bit here because we are using custom skins in the league, and for some reason they cause a bit of issues with the replay system. So as we come out of the hairpin here, very good run there by Masachila, and then we'll see here as we run up to the hill, slightly to the right here. Oh, I don't know, that's hard to call that one. A good thing no one else got involved in that, but really unfortunate to see Masic going off there. But looked maybe somewhat like a racing incident. I'm not sure about that one though. Peter Parnell here, under fire now from, I assume that is Masic. Yeah, that must be. So Peter Parnell dropping back there right from the start. Not doing as well as his first race so far, but oh, someone is dropping back. I'm not sure. Was that Nelson Rowley? I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Vincent Ehrbrich has managed to pull a gap here as Marcus Lawrence and Joshua Layson are fighting here. So yeah, Vincent Ehrbrich just capitalizing here on the guys behind him fighting, and you must wonder why are you already fighting? You know, there's still 20 minutes to go, so leave the fighting until maybe the last 5 or so rounds and try to keep up to the leader. But yeah, Vincent Ehrbrich just streaking away with it now. Meanwhile here, Eddie Phillips side by side with Martijn de Knecht as they head uphill into the fast left-hander. Martijn de Knecht will be the wiser of the two and back out from that fight. And he'll be looking for another opportunity here as he is outperforming himself right now compared to the first race. Oh, mistake there from Eddie Phillips, and that will allow Martijn de Knecht through. And also Ivan Gomez looking to challenge now. Trying to go side by side into the chicane, but that is tricky. That is really tricky, but managed to do it cleanly. Doesn't pick up the position, but nicely tried there as Eddie Phillips does come out ahead. Miguel Fonseca does have Masachila behind him. Masic will obviously be quite a bit faster, but might be a little bit unsettled from that earlier incident there. Now going to come up the inside of Miguel Fonseca. And Miguel Fonseca is going to concede there. And behind there we do have Daryl Hill picking up the speed. Peter Parnell really dropping back now into 20th, I believe. Not having the best of times now, but a lot of battling going on here. And one more thing here. So Layson must have made another mistake here as he has dropped back into 4th position now and has allowed Thomas Arnsman to come through. And that does mean that Lee Taylor and Ruben van der Hudding are right there on the back of them now, looking to capitalize. But Joshua still on the back there of Arnsman. Not ready to give up that fight yet. Miguel Fonseca now here being challenged by... who is that there in the BMW? I am not sure. Is that yeah, I'm not too sure who that is in the BMW in front of him. Okay, Fonseca will just run wide, let some guys through. Yeah, Thomas Arnsman up into third position now. Vincent Erbrich, wow, really just 3-second lead now. I think it's even more once we get to the line here. But yeah, really streaking away with it. That early fighting from the guys behind him has really, really given him the advantage here. So Lee Taylor now under fire by Ruben van den Hudding, that BMW on the straight. Stretching its legs, going into turn 1, he's going to try and outbrake him. Forces Lee Taylor to take the alternative line through there, and he's going to come out worse out of that one. But, Ruben van den Hudding back up into 5th now. Did start in 3rd, so has dropped back a tiny bit there. Just not managing on race pace. But obviously top 5 is still very well done. And let's see if he can hold on to that for the next 17 or so minutes. Same time, let's see here, we still have a bit of a train here, but behind Mark de Boer. We have Christian Venter and Max van Laar behind him. Van de Boer, the 52.3 last lap. Venter behind him a 52.2, and Van Laar a 52.0. So quite even on pace here, and we'll see if anyone can challenge de Boer here. And here, Thomas Arnsman, let's go back to this fight here. Thomas Arnsman and Joshua Layson. A real close fight here. See if Layson can get a nice run here through that last corner. It seemed to get quite a good run through there. And let's see now with the slipstream if he can actually achieve something here. Again, they're in the same car, so there's very limited margin on this. And maybe a slightly different wing setting, I'm not sure. I think the GT4s can change their wing setting, but you know, maybe a slightly different setup, and that slipstream isn't gonna do for you. Isn't gonna do much for you, as it already doesn't really do much for you in GT4s. But a really good run from Joshua Layson here. Is he gonna try something? No, he's gonna stay behind, maybe trying to scare Arnsman off of his line. Oh, it does make Arnsman run a bit wide there. Gonna try it around the outside, maybe to cut back here. As that camera swings around. Can't quite get it done. Does seem now that Vincent Erbrich is slowing down, so we might see a late fight here between Marcus Lawrence and Vincent Erbrich if it comes to it. Yeah, Layson just trying to fight hard here. Trying to gain every inch he can on Arnsman. And they gotta be careful now, because Ruben van den Hudding is right behind them and he's hounding them. Again, seems that Ruben van den Hudding struggles a bit early on race pace, but then once the race gets going, he gets into the groove. He's really picking up the pace. There's a slide there. De Boer still holding on here, with Max van Laar behind him. I wanted to take a look a bit further back, but nothing really happening there, so we're going to focus up at the fights on the mid-pack and at the front. See here now if Ruben van den Hudding can inch a bit closer. You can see here the BMW is going to inch closer to that Porsche. It does have a bit more top speed. So let's see if he can challenge here. Is going to go to the inside, trying to force Layson to take a different line, and actually made him alter his line there, which now compromises his run into the middle sector here. Again, he's going to try here. Side by side still. Ooh, very close racing here. Van den Hudding trying to hold it around the outside, but does tap the gravel there. But again, carrying so much momentum through there. He is able to hold on as they come out of there. Oh, a little bit of a shove there with Layson as they climb up that hill still side by side. And under braking, Layson just has a bit more, but on the outside there, that's going to be very tough to hold on to. But, you know, overall, very clean racing from these guys. Bit of a bump here and there, but nothing too malicious. And that does mean Ruben van der Hagen comes through again, so up to 4th now. And is looking maybe to challenge Arnsman late into the round here. Looking a bit further down the grid, everything is cooling down, so we'll just keep the cameras focused on this part of our field. So Joshua Layson now getting compromised by Lee Taylor. Lee Taylor looking where he can capitalize. He's right there behind Layson. Yeah, Lee Taylor does seem to be struggling a bit more in the corners. Might have a bit of a top speed on the Porsche, but struggling a bit more in the actual corner speed section, it seems. Again, I don't think the Porsche. I think the Porsche is overall a very well balanced car, so not the fastest on the straight line. But very well through the corners, but also not the best through the corners. It's just a nicely overall balanced car, you know, like it's decent at everything. But yeah, Lee Taylor can't inch closer so far. The Boer here trying to hold off Rowley behind him. We will now see. Curiously enough, the Boer with the only Mercedes in the field, which I thought the Mercedes would be a bit more popular, but maybe not as loved as its GT3 brother. Actually, see here now. If there is a speed difference, as the Rowley there drifts a little bit there coming out of the corner, but doesn't compromise his run too much. And let's see now, top speed wise, how this car does. Wow, the BMW really didn't expect that, but really stretching his legs compared to the Mercedes. But on the brakes, the Mercedes seems pretty decent. Bit of a compromised line there, but Rowley sliding all over the place here. But a good run there through this first sequence of corners, and he's gonna pull alongside again. Ooh, a slight touch there between them. Nothing too bad. Ooh, keep it together, guys. Bit of rubbing there between the two. But so far so good. Meanwhile, with their fighting, they have allowed Daryl Hill to close up on them, which will... Oh, he's gonna try up the inside here, but yeah, no room there. I think at this point he's just trying to throw off the Boer there. And yeah, like I said, in the meanwhile, Daryl Hill closing up on these two while they're fighting, and he'll be looking to pounce as well if he gets the opportunity. Take a quick lurk here at the front as Ruben van den Hudding trying to get back his second position here, and that straight line speed of the BMW is helping him. But Arnsman putting up a stern defense here to go into the first sequence of corners, and Arnsman holding on for now. Van den Hudding getting a very good run through there, trying to throw off Arnsman showing the nose there. So yeah, the BMW here towards the end of the race always turning out really strong, I think. So 7 minutes to go here, race 2. And we'll head into the middle sector. Joshua Layson there in 5th. Again, probably also just waiting on any of the guys in front of him to make a small little mistake so he can capitalize. A little bit wide there from Layson. Van den Hudding now right up to the back of Arnsman. And let's see if this time around he can manage to try and overtake. You see the Porsche there carrying a bit more speed through the corner. But here comes the part for the BMW where it's good at. Straight line speed. Closing up again. But yeah, not the greatest run out of that last corner from Van den Hudding, so surprised if he can actually do anything here. Oh, Arnsman running wide there. Surely this is gonna allow Van den Hudding. Oh no, gets quite a bad run through there as well. So no harm done so far for Arnsman, but a very close battle here for that that top 3 position. Any of these guys can land on the podium, but only 5 minutes and 5.5 minutes or so left to do something about that. And we'll just keep the cameras focused on here since no real fights going on here. We might be able to look at Rowley here. He's now dropped. Oh, Vincent Erbich with a drive-through. This is horrible for Erbich. Has been cutting a bit too much of the corners or extending a bit too much and now has a drive-through. This will see him plummet through the field. And this will probably give Lawrence a second win for today. So, wow, I didn't expect this to happen, but that is, yeah. That must be a bummer for Erbich there. So Marcus Lawrence will go up into first position as Erbich takes his drive-through in Imola. Quite a long pit straight, so this is going to be suffering for Erbich. He's going to drop all the way down the field, I think. Big loss of time for him here. As Arnsman and Van den Hudding are still going at it up into the braking. Van den Hudding can't do anything, but he won't stop trying. See here, has Erbich come out of the pits? No, not yet actually. See where he comes out. So he has come out. Oh man, I want to say that was Max van Laar, so he must be in 14th or 15th now, right? 13th, as there in the bottom right, 13th position for Vincent Erbich. Has about 2 laps to make up some time, but man, that is very unfortunate for Erbich there. And again, we focus on the fight at the front here. I think Nelson Rowley here as well. Ooh, side by side there with Andrew Harvey. Harvey just sending it over the curves, but then goes a bit too wide and loses it. Will actually give up a second position there to Daryl Hill there behind him as they go side by side into the hairpin. But Harvey will edge ahead. Arnsman. Oh, big mistake from Arnsman there. Surely this will This is the opportunity now for Van den Hudding. And he's gonna shift to the inside here. And they'll go side by side, but the BMW has the legs on the straight, so gonna be very hard here for Ruben van den Hudding, or not Ruben van den Hudding, Thomas Arendsman to put up a defense here. And he's just gonna slot in behind Van den Hudding because I think he knows there's very little he can do, and well, now he has to hold off Joshua Layson as well. As these three come through that first sector. And Venter now under attack from Masic Hila. Hila having a bit of a poor run early on, but now making a position, and Hila is going to put himself up into the top 10. Ooh, slight tap there, bit of a rubbing, but no real harm done. A bit of a hop over the curves there for Venter. Not too much damage there. More action going on here. Hard time for trying to decide what to focus on. Lee Taylor and Dijkstra here going side by side into the braking. Oh, this is a dangerous place to be going side by side, but hanging on for now. And Ruben van den Hudding now creating a small gap for himself. And ooh, Van den Hudding is Arendsman, sorry, making a big mistake there, and Joshua Layson might be able to capitalize here. See here, no, not quite. But Joshua Layson all over the back of Arendsman now. Let's see if he can try anything there. He is in the slipstream, so he'll have a slight advantage here. Can he do anything with it? The last lap, so oh, he's gonna put pressure, but not enough. So far, Arendsman still holding on now. Still have that fight behind going on as well between Lee Taylor and Justin Dijkstra. Ooh, Dijkstra a bit wide there, and that will probably effectively end the fight here between those two. So let's focus back on Arendsman and Layson. Again, both a bit wide there, but no harm done. It is braking now, and this will see Ruben van den Hudding actually end up in second place now. Again, a bit of a compromised run for Arendsman there. Let's see if Layson wants to try and take advantage. Gonna show his nose. Layson, oof. Rough run through there as they were on each other's bumper. But let's see here if Arendsman can actually keep it together. And then we will get our leader here, Marcus Lawrence, with a bit of help there from Vincent Erbrich, getting that drive through for track limits. He'll go on to win 2 out of 2. And we will see Ruben van den Hudding coming across the line second, with Thomas Arendsman and Layson right behind him. So nice fighting up front there. Lee Taylor and Justin Dijkstra had a nice fight as well there for 5th position. So 5th and 6th. Then Christian Deploy coming across the line in 7th. Ryan Daniels in 8th. Jordan Wansink in 9th. So uphill battle today here for Jordan Wansink, but in the second race at least being able to finish inside the top 10. But yeah, the KTM, not the best car for this track, I'd say. And Masic Hila, Vincent Erbrich, I think the biggest loss here for him today, as he got that drive through. Then Venter, then Van Laar, then Peter Parnell here in 14th, Martin de Knecht in 15th, De Boer in 16th, Rowley in 17th, Harvey with Hill right behind them there in 18th and 19th, and then Gomez in 20th. Across the line there. Miguel Fonseca, 21st. Then we will be waiting for one more driver. Eddie Phillips there. Not having the best run here, I think, as he comes across the line with a lot of damage there. That hood not looking too good, but that will round off race 2, and the race winner will be Marcus Lawrence. Second place for Ruben van den Hudding, and third for Thomas Arnsman. So, that being said, that was some very nice racing today. I mean, makes me look forward to our next round here. And see here if we can get a couple of these guys in for a little interview. Let me just quickly write down here our winners of the day. And yeah, let's see if we can get a couple of these guys in here. So firstly, I'm gonna try and get our well, your race winner in here. Won both races. Let's see here. And get Marcus Lawrence in here. There we go. Let's drag him in. Hello, hello.
Hello.
So that was, I mean, from my side, that was very fun to look at. A lot of battling going on, and I mean, a bit of a surprise at the end there of race 2 for to get that race win.
Yeah, I was pushing as hard as I could, and we were trading like faster laps. Like I would make a mistake, and then he would make a mistake, and both like kind of run on wide quite a lot of the time. But I assume he got a drive through for track limits, so I inherit that win then.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it looks like it was looking really solid. It does look like the McLaren has some good straight line speed compared to the Porsche, for instance.
Yeah, the McLaren, I think, is one of the heaviest GT4 cars, so it's not got great brakes. It's a little bit of a dog in the corners, and yeah, it's got a lot of power and a lot of top speed. But yeah, I think the Porsche is a lot more nimble through the chicanes and things like that.
Yeah, that's really what it looked like. I think this the long straight here at Imola really did well for the top speed cars. I think, for instance, Jordan was having a rough time in the KTM on the straight.
There's no surprise.
But yeah, nevertheless, that's 2 out of 2, so perfect way to start the season, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, very well done, and we'll see you next week for the GT3 races, I think.
Yo, thank you very much.
All right. So let's see here if we can get Arnsman in here. Hello, hello. Thomas, are you here?
Hello.
So second place in the first race, I believe, and third in the second race. So some really good results, I think.
Yeah, that's quite a good result, to be honest. Really glad I got second place in the first one. Of course, yeah, second place in the first race.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if I could have also gotten second here, but third race is still a podium place, so still happy.
Yeah, it does look like there's a lot of battling going on with the format we've set up with the 25-minute races. A lot of battling going on everywhere, it seems.
Yeah, both races I've been battling for my position, either at the start or the end of the race. So it's a lot of fun to battle them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, from my perspective, it looked really fun. There was a lot happening, so I was kind of having some trouble focusing on everything that was going on. But yeah,
I can.
Was yeah, very well done, and I think, will you be competing in the GT3 league as well next week?
Yeah, I still haven't decided on my car yet, so I will have to do that really quick now. But I will definitely compete in it.
All right, that's good to see. Well, congratulations on your podiums today, and we'll see you next week then.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's get the struggle bus in there. That was Jordan Wansing today. Hello, hello. Jordan, are you here?
Yes, yes.
Aha. Well, it looked like a bit of a struggle on the straight, I must say.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so how did it feel for you? Because, man, just looking at you lose like 3-4 car lengths over the other cars on the straight was a pain.
It felt like 7, but yeah. I picked the car knowing this. I did not expect it to be this terrible at Imola. It was already pretty bad at the back straight at Paul Ricard, but this was actually worse. Because the corner you come out in the last is a lot slower. So
Yeah.
and then Paul Ricard, it's already full throttle. So yeah, it was worse here, but I'm hoping other tracks will be better for me. Car felt quite okay. It's just a straight line. It's ridiculous because like out of the first chicane, I was already back on the bumper of the person I had, and I couldn't overtake in the middle
Yeah.
section. So yeah,
I saw you were in that first race. I saw you were struggling a lot with
Parney,
Parney. Yeah, just because I saw you every time in sector 1 and 2.
I was on his bumper.
Yeah, you closed up on him every time, but then on the straight he just ran away.
Yeah, and there were actually times where I have a better exit, but then one gear up and he's away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So, yeah.
But anyway, you still got a top 10 in the second race, so that's something, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then, well, we'll be heading to Misano next week. I don't know. Have you tested a car there yet, or?
I think it's better.
Yeah, there's
But,
not
like
as much long straights on that track, so. A lot
3,
more.
I think. But there is more faster corners ahead of them. So
Yeah.
and some tight stuff that the KTM should work well.
But yeah, anyway, I'll keep supporting you and trying to give you mental support on the straightaways.
Thank you.
And then we'll see you next week for the GT3 League, perhaps?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, with that being said, that will be our interviews for today. I want to thank everyone for watching. Your directing and commentary has been by me, myself, Stuffmail, and I do want to thank some of our partners, which is Grid Finder. They have a very nice website if you're looking for leagues to join, preferably ours, of course. And we also work together with Simstrata. They take care of our website and our servers. And of course, if you want to join our races, you can head to pcdc.simstrata.com. If you log in there with your Discord, you'll get linked straight to us, and you'll get all the information needed to join these races. Next week, we will be heading to Imola again, but then in the GT3 cars, so a whole different dynamic. And, well, I'll be there again for you next week, and hopefully you'll be there again as well. That has been it, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.